Hello everyone, welcome on XRMust. This is a live video format we want to do a bit more often in the next month. This month we will going to highlight the Kaohsiung Film Festival and the activity between two territories, which are France and Taiwan. And I'm glad to welcome some guests with me today for that. So welcome Anna, welcome Oriane, and welcome Kuan-Jen. Everyone is going to introduce themselves next, but this is quite a pack of people that you will find in Kaohsiung in a few days, actually. Maybe Anna, we are here because of the activity of the French office in Taipei, the Bureau Français. Can you tell us a bit more what is the Bureau Français actually?
Yes, so le Bureau français de Taipei, donc the French office in Taipei that we called BFT, represent France in Taiwan. We focus on fostering economic, cultural, and scientific exchanges between the two regions. Of course, it promotes French businesses and trade, support cultural collaboration in arts and technology, and encourage academic and scientific partnership. But mainly the BFT plays a key role in connecting the French and Taiwanese cultural industries. So what we do there is connecting with the Taiwanese partners and also facilitating the connection with the French partners. And then hoping and trying our best to make a collaboration happen in Taiwan. I don't know if you want me to talk a little bit about the French focus of this year. So this year, we have a French focus at the Dreamland XR section of the Kaohsiung Film Fest. This initiative highlights French talent and producers through their immersive works. And it's a showcase, of course, French leadership in the field of virtual reality, augmented reality, and other immersive technologies. But it's also an opportunity to celebrate the Taiwan and French collaboration that has been really highly successful in recent years. So this partnership have helped reinforce the ties between us in the field, especially of immersive technology and digital arts.
It's quite a program already.
Yes.
This is a good way to ask Kuan-Jen about Kaohsiung. Kaohsiung is one of the leading events in Asia for XR. It's not only XR at the festival. Can you tell us a bit more about it and this year edition and lineup?
Of course. Thanks for inviting me. And we know that our festival this year will be soon open next week. But I will take this advantage to shortly introduce ourselves. So since last year, we are under the framework of Taiwanese Technology and Cultural Expo. But before that, we run our festival. And so this year, we are organized, we are collaborate in this Technology and Culture Expo was organized by Ministry of Culture and also Kaohsiung City Government. And we, as a film archive in southern Taiwan, we are happy to face and invite all the international delegates from immersive industry and also from our local creators during the like 2 or 3 weeks. So the venue will be in Kaohsiung, a nearby harbor area. So the Pier 2 Art Center is always been a popular area for both for the local residents and also for the tourists. And this program this year will composed by several sections. The first one is VR Film Lab Originals, which we co-produced 2 completed projects, Madam Pirates, and also The Simple Silence, and 3 prototype titles. And the second section will be XR competition. So this year we selected 22 titles in total, and 8 of them is 360s, and 14 of them is interactive works. And also the third section is XR Spotlight. So 6 of the Spotlight experience will be exhibited during the festival. And I think this year is a particular special for us because 3 of them comes from France. include Astra, Deep Ecology, and also Monsieur Vincent. And so the other program, including SR Special Project, this is a special project that each year we will come up with some other new ideas and some observations. So this year we put Villa Formose immersive residency into these sections. And that's basically the overview of this year's program. And also because this year we invite more than 45 delegates internationally. So during 16th to 20th of October, we will have an industry event. So including panels and mentorship, other creative nights. And so this aims to invite and also enhance the interactions between local creators, companies with the experienced companies from the international ecosystems. So that's us.
All right, that's quite a massive lineup for this year, and I'll be glad that XRMust will be covering on the ground and maybe report on some things. Before we jump to question, and thanks for the whole description of the festival, we will introduce Oriane Hurard from Attachée. Hello, Oriane.
Hello Mathieu, hello all. Thank you for the invitation and for the invitation this morning, and also for the invitation to Kaohsiung. I can't wait to be there next week. So I'm there and I will be there for representing Attachée. So Attachée is a French production company created in 2017 by 4 pioneers of virtual reality. And the company is dedicated to immersive content and of course with a very strong focus on narrative content. And I'm sure you have maybe seen our projects in festival or on stores like Battlescar, Gloomy Eyes, Fears, Ayahuasca, and so on. Can we share? Yeah, thank you, Mathieu, for the presentation. It will be very short, I promise. So yeah, we in almost 8 years now, 7-8 years, we have created this project. We worked with different broadcasters and some headsets manufacturers directly, but also we produce a lot of this project using co-production funds and cooperation with territories. So that's why I was very interested by the topics we tackled this morning, today. But for more recently, I made a very quick focus on our 5 more recent projects. And the first one, of course, is Mobile Suit Gundam Silver Phantom that actually released yesterday. We are very proud of this one. We worked more than 3 years on it. And it's a cooperation and co-production with Bandai in Japan to adapt the famous Japanese anime into VR. So we made a full 90 minutes VR narrative interactive experience and mixed reality mini game in addition. And it's available on Metastore since, like I said, yesterday. And this year we also released Astra. This one is a full mixed reality experience, about 1 hour long, that premiered at South by this year and released on store just after. We have also the wonderful career of Emperor, VR 40 minutes experience that premiered at Venice in 2023, and since it won multiple awards and have been Emmy Award nominated. And it's also on stores for free, actually, since a few months now. And for a few years now, as we know, all as the VR and the XR industry is still difficult to grow, I say. Like it's still a niche. At Atlas 5, we are trying to diversify, to keep with the immersive content, but to also explore other formats. And last year, but it was starting December last year until July in France, we produced our first immersive exhibition. It was dedicated to the history and the representation of street art, and we did that in collaboration with Grand Palais Immersive. And the exhibition just finished a few months ago. And finally, another interesting format, we just finished The Exploding Girl, which is a short film but made within the Unreal Engine and directed by two famous indie directors indie movie directors, Caroline Poggi and Jonathan Vinel. And we premiered this short film in Locarno, and it will be released on Arte, so broadcasted on Arte in 2025. So these are our latest realization, and we are very happy to have Emperor and Astra that will be shown at KFF next week. Thanks, Mathieu.
Thank you, Oriane. We'll end the presentation. Talking about, we talk a bit about the relationship between Taiwan and France, but mostly, how do you see both ecosystems? Because, and I will start with Oriane, this is two of the biggest ecosystems in the world for immersive work. How do you see that? Do you think still today it's relevant to say that they're both ahead of everyone, or how do you see that?
It's hard to say that we both at the top. So I don't know if I should say that and just be happy with that. I would say that the market is still dominated by the US, both in capitals and in also users, because every time we released an experience in stores, we see that most of the user came from the US. So we're still we can't erase them from the equation when we start thinking designing a project. Of course, we have to think to an international audience, and especially US, because we at Atlas 5 are very interested, and of course we have a strong relationships with festivals and with LBE places where most of our works are also presented and showcased. But we also try to have a real online distribution for the project, like the ones I just show you a few minutes ago. So yeah, so I'd say we can do without the US, but for the co-production and the financing, of course, we are lucky enough to have a strong ecosystem in France and as well as in Taiwan. We already benefit from the International Co-Production Fund between France and Taiwan on different projects, but I think the most striking project when we talk about international co-production is Missing Pictures. I have the trailer ready if you want to share again the presentation, Mathieu. Thank you. So I just mute it to continue talking about it, but it's a 5 countries and territories co-production. So we co-produce this project between France, between UK, between Luxembourg, between South Korea and the territory of Taiwan. It was a 5-episode series, documentary series about making movie, and especially movie that couldn't get made. So we asked to 5 international filmmakers to tell us what was their unfinished story, and how they and why actually they couldn't do it. So it's a story about cinema, of course, about creativity, but also about failure and how to get away with that in a way. And in Taiwan, we have a big opportunity to work with Tsai-Ming Liang, the famous filmmaker, and we co-produce this episode dedicated to him with Serendipity Film. So it has been a very interesting cooperation. And this model of co-production was actually the biggest co-production I ever made, and I think we ever made at Atlas 5. But the model was very interesting because each episode was co-produced with one territory, and it allows to be more independent and more flexible. We avoid, in a way, all the problems we can have with co-production when you have to create one character in one territory and then animate it in other one and make the sound in other studio or whatever. So in this one, from one episode was integrated in one territory, and the Taiwanese one is one of my favorites actually, because we created a very dedicated, very watercolor, very specular art style to match with the story that director Tsai-Ming Liang wanted to tell.
Thanks for sharing that. Kuan-Jen, maybe from a more curation point of view, what you see on the project you select or you curate every year, how do you see the power between these two territories, which is France and Taiwan? There is a lot of activities, in fact.
Yes, I will take one example each year in the XR competition, because in Kaohsiung Film Festival, the short film competition comes earlier than XR competition. But I think since 2019, we started to let the creators to submit their XR experience to the competition program. So I think, for example, this year there are 5 France co-production titles in the competition list, and I think that's not that we are trying or push this to happen, but it happens naturally. And I think the Taiwanese culture and also French culture has a lot in common. So I think one main point is the diversity. So in Taiwan, these creators, they came from different backgrounds. So recent years, they came from film and TV, traditionally, production, but also come from theater, visual arts, or even performing arts and other gaming company. So this diversity make it possible for different creators and different sparkles. So that's what I see at the moment, the two ecosystems today. And of course, like Oriane says, there is some production that needs to be done internationally, because if there are specific topic or subject matters, for example, the directors, their unfinished title, unfinished films, if we collect and organize and make effort together, it will make this project more viewable and more diverse. So even it focusing on one thing or one subject matters. So I think in Taiwan, the live action and real actors directing in 3 cities is earlier to be developed and explored. But this recent years, we observe that there is a need to develop interactive and multiplayer and room scale exploration. And I think that's what we need to learn, and maybe collaborate with a French company. That's the territory that in Taiwan we are developing at the moment. So this year in Kaohsiung Film Festival, we had an event focusing on this French focus, because we know 3 or 4, even more studios are specializing in different scales to develop interactive mode experiences. So we hope that the collaboration and the interaction and exchange, including ideas and including funding and including the support, either top down or bottom up, will keep going. That's my view.
Yeah, because just to remember that you also have a lot of resources in the territory. That when I talked to Colored Noir, which is a French project, they came right after COVID to record a part of the project in Taiwan due to the co-production. It was not just about funding; it was also about having resources on the ground.
Yeah, because we know it takes a lot of time from the initiation of a project until a different phase, different stage. And so it takes like 2 or 3 years to complete. So within the process, it needs a lot of effort and from different supporters, either from the government or from the private sector.
Anna, maybe if you want to add something about the cooperation between both Taiwan and France, and maybe also talk a bit about Villa Formose, which is a residency operation.
So I think I totally agree on what Kuan-Jen and Oriane were saying about co-production and the Taiwanese and French ecosystem. On a institutional perspective, I think what's really interesting for us, it's also that France explored this technology since 2016 and was kind of like a pioneer in the XR industry, with creators a bit like Taiwan from cinema, TV, and documentaries. But also it's because there was a strong public support and backing from broadcasters like France Télévisions and Arte that have been involved since the start, that the French ecosystem has really structured. Regarding Taiwan, what's really amazing is how quickly Taiwan emerged as a major player in XR, because its ecosystem has rapidly developed, and they also build their ecosystem on public backing and international collaboration. And we're lucky enough to also have been chosen as one of their partners. And also, I think what was really a kind of a switch regarding the relationship between France and Taiwan on the XR project, it's also the launch of Taika in 2019. Because, as you said, they manage a XR fund that can help international projects to emerge, but they also implemented in Taiwan a strategy and concrete policies on XR. It's not totally similar to France, but there is some similarities. So I think it's easier for French and Taiwanese professionals to work together on projects, because the way the industry is structured and the public policy are quite the same. And also the Kaohsiung Film Fest really starting to be the XR hub in Asia, and is really well known internationally. I think a lot of international professionals are always looking forward to have their projects selected and showcased there. So that give really Taiwan a huge place in the XR place. And I think in conclusion, what we can be happy about it is like since the XR fund managed by Taika started, there is more than 10 French supported projects. So I think it's quite a good news. Also, of course, most of these projects have been also supported by the CNC in France. So that can really help the professional to make it happen, and also make great projects that then are selected and awarded in the best festival in the world. And I think it's really the value between the Taiwanese and French collaboration in recent years, is like most of the co-production they did were selected and awarded in the best festivals such as Venice, Kaohsiung, or Cannes. So I think it's a really good sign for the industry that the ecosystem can naturally work together. Regarding Villa Formose, so the BFT, so the French office in Taipei, we've been working on residency since 4 or 5 years. At first, it was not called the Villa Formose, but since last year, we started the label Villa Formose because we also doing residency not only in the immersive field, but also in other cultural sectors. The idea of Villa Formose, it's to be a bridge for cultural exchange, of course, and fostering collaboration between artists from Taiwan and France. But in the BFT, we believe that, of course, our two ecosystems are more and more used to work together, and we can see that it's quite a success. But it's also interesting for us to support creators as early as possible in the stage of creating. Because beyond the financial support, the concept of a work residency it's also the most interesting way to enrich the creation itself. And for example, when there is French project to enrich with maybe Taiwanese element in it, so there is this residency allow that. We've been working with Le 104 as a French partner, and also, of course, Kaohsiung Film Fest and Taika on the Taiwanese side. And we are also choosing every year a Taiwanese project that will go to France in residency. So as Kuan-Jen mentioned earlier, this year we have 5 French projects. 4 are in the writing phase and 1 is in the prototyping phase. And also, maybe I can let others talk about what they think about residency, but like we have some example of project that passed by Taiwan residency program and then had been selected in festival. So in my point of view, of course, it's working.
Yeah, and notably this year you have in Taiwan Joséphine Derobe as a prototype residency,
Exactly.
and Mélanie Cortina and such names of people that we know in the XR field. Maybe Kuan-Jen, can you tell us a bit about your involvement in the residency and how because it's a real exchange that you send French people to Taiwan, Taiwanese people to Paris. How's the effect on the Taiwanese artists? Are they interested to come to France and to spend time there?
Yes, I think from the starting point of the VR Film Lab in, I think, 2018, we keep situated residency as a major part of our mission. So there's a process that we've been learning a lot, because residency is not only the period of time that the artist staying in a specific location, but also in terms of the subject matters, field research, and also technical collaborations. So I believe that the institution support plays a crucial role in it. And so in the very starting point of the VR Film Lab, we are very happy to welcome each year for the artists in Kaohsiung, and to learn from them, and also to help to give advices, because we run curate our regular program every season. So we kind of know more about audience's response, and also we know what the producers or even the market needs. So we based on our own experience and perspective. So last year we collaborated with a new partner with La Songa, and so we still believe in that. Even though there's only a specific process or stage that we can accompany the residency creators, but it's often the case that we found several years later the residency project that we participate in was keep going, and even receive some awards or receive some recognition elsewhere. So I think that's a group work. So not only the project we select, but also the process that we discuss after the discussion, and also we set up some criteria, and sometimes we adjust the criteria year by year, because from the beginning of the residence projects, there's only like 360 formats. But within this year's change, there are more diverse landscape change. So we had the opportunity to evaluate and to see the very earlier phase of the project. And so in that's response to Anna says, that's always, we are not only the film archive, so we have different multiple missions when we run the festival and also runs the archive. So even it's very sometimes it's busy and sometimes it takes a lot of resources, but we're still trying our best to secure there is resources and support given to the residency projects.
Yeah, that's a big point on that. Maybe Oriane, if you want to add something about residencies, is that important for you as a producer to have artists having time to write, having time to prototype, and etc.? Is that a big component of your development phase, or?
We don't force the creators we work with to pass through to be selected for a residency, of course. But yes, of course, it's always help, because the most important thing in creation or even in international cooperation is time. We need time in our lives. We need time to create, to write, but we also need time to meet and to talk, and that's why festivals and focus and events where we can be gathered and meet other people, it's so important. And yeah, actually it's funny, because I just came back from another international residency. Last week I was in Luxembourg with the European Creators Lab, and this residency invited both creators and producers, and we had a full week to work on the project, to pitch and to present and meet other groups projects. So I say, yeah, it's very useful, and it's also useful to have the producers. So don't hesitate to invite us also next time. But no, joke aside, I say that XR creators are often very isolated and also very fragile, because we are still in a fragile industry, financially speaking, and audience wise. So yeah, they need to be supported, and we are lucky enough in France to have writing grants and other incentives, and residents are part of it. So it's very important. And I know also that the Villa Formose residencies are also defrayed, and there is also a prize support for the prototype residency. So yes, it's very, very, very important that residency are not just a place to stay, but also with the resources and financial means. And that's why Villa Formose, I think it was one of the most powerful tools for the creation of projects.
Yeah, and just
we have...
it was just to add something on what Oriane said. It's like, of course, Villa Formose is giving time to creators to think and write and work on their project, but there is also a part who is really business oriented. So we also prepare for them with Taika and Kaohsiung Film Fest to meet like the major players in XR in Taiwan. So that can lead them to maybe new cooperation and find a co-producer, for example, in Taiwan. From last year, there is several projects that now have a Taiwanese producer, and they could apply for the grant at the Ministry of Culture in Taiwan that is quite new. I think it's been available since 1 year, and also get the CNC for prototyping. So I think residency, in some minds, sometimes it's just like artists wandering around abroad, but it's not. It's really work. It's of course time to create and imagine what they want to do with their project, and maybe be inspired by what's going on around there. Around them, sorry, but it's really business oriented, and it's also finding funds and finding co-producers.
And you said time, so they're actually in Taiwan now before KFF to for the residency, at least for the prototypes. But when you say time, that it's prototyping phase, the residency is like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks more. It
Sometimes it varies. Last month, I think the U2P 050 a studio, because there are 4 of them, 4 members of the studio, so they come in different dates. But it's normally ranging from 4 weeks to 6 weeks in total.
All right, that's pretty impressive, and it will continue next year, right? We can say, or not?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
we were trying best to
yes,
actually
now we're still working with Kuan-Jen and Taipei on this edition, and as maybe you know, I just arrived, so it's quite a busy period, but it should of course continue, but we didn't start to discuss that.
Yeah, just to finish this discussion, can we say a bit about the market at KFF? You mentioned, Kuan-Jen, the B2B session and stuff. Can you be a bit more detailed about what's going on in October for the Kaohsiung Film Festival?
Yeah, sure. Because we start from 12th of October, so normally the second week of the festival will be our industry week. So it will start from 17th to 20th of October. So 4 consecutive days of the industry events will be arranged. So firstly, there will be 20 panels. So we have 4 subjects. The first one is exploring reality through virtuality. So it will mainly focus on the documentary, XR and VR, because we know there's a tendency that the creators find a new format, new media for the documentary narrative. So we are kind of welcome this year how they think about that. So first topic is this. And second topic in panels will be character development and animation production, because we know the animation is the important format and ways of telling stories. So that will be our second focus in the panels. And third one will be the dialogue, how the XR reveals in the words. So there is some stories and experience more deep delve into the characters' inner world. So that will be our third phase of the panels. And the last one will be from the flat narrative to spatial experience. So that's mainly focused on the room scales and larger room scales exploration, like Bear My Soul. And in Taiwan, there's one from director Zhou Dongyan, Traversing the Mist. So there's not very many titles, but several of them, they were invited to talk about their works, how they work with the technical team, and how the directors think about from the creative side. So that's basically 4 topic in the panels. And also we will have mentorship. So we invite, I think, 9 mentors from the international XR world. So including Michelle from Venice and also Michelle from New Images, and also some others will be creators from the competition section and also the spotlight in the program. So they will come to give advice and response to the projects that this year, because in Taiwan, there's a project funding called Taiwan Content Immersive Project. So there is like 20 teams, and we will select some of them to participate in the mentor. So they will give the opportunities to to discuss and to adjust and receive some feedbacks from the international professionals. And also in the French focus, we will invite immersive studios from France. So Atlas 5 and also Lucy Realities and Small Creative and also the U2P 050. So 4 of them will present their ideas and how they develop their workflow and how they work with other creators, or even in terms of distribution, exhibition internationally. So I hope that will give the local creators the basic idea and landscape of how their work could be distributed internationally. And of course, Villa Formose residency. So yeah, on the same day of the immersive studios, we will invite the selected residency creators to present how they come up with their projects and also in what stage they are working on. So that's basically the market and also the professional exchange event within the second week of our festival.
That's already a lot. Just to conclude, maybe thanks very much. Oriane, do you have something to say to conclude, or any news from Atlas aside from that? Gundam is just released, Emperor is just released, so you have a lot of activities these days.
No, but actually we also be part of the French immersive studio presentation with Albion, our own sister company studio. No, we actually, as you say, we just released our biggest production we ever made in the history of Atlas 5. And it has been like Emperor, but also Gundam, Astra, and last year Wallace and Gromit in VR. I think we worked more than 3 years on this project, so we are entering a new cycle with new exciting project, but still in prototype or development phase. So it's too soon to tell you more about that, but we are also expanding our existing universe. We are trying to do our own franchise in a way, because we will release, I think, early next year, Gloomy Eyes as a game, as a video 3D game that will be available on different game consoles and Steam and PCs. And we still continue to work with Frida's and a studio from Argentine that created the universe and the characters, and also with Arte, which co-produced the VR experience and that also co-produced and published the video game. So it's very interesting to see how a 2018 project still continue to be live with a different form, and we are developing a feature film on the Gloomy Eyes universe. It's still in development, but maybe hopefully in a few years we will have also a feature film in the Gloomy family. So yeah, it's an interesting time for Atlas 5, and I think also an interesting time for the world industry as new players coming in, and it's like exciting time.
Thanks, Oriane. Maybe Anna, last word to conclude this session is how producers or artists can reach to the BFT to have information, or even Taiwanese artists if they want to be part of Villa Formose, and etc. What is the process to? There is a website.
Yeah, so we have a website called I don't remember, le Bureau de Français de Taipei, at Taipei. And they can also reach me by email. But regarding the Villa Formose, it's by application. So there is, within the French office in Taipei website, there is a section called Villa Formose, and there you have all the information to apply. But how this edition is still going on, we still didn't open the application for next year. But of course, we will give you the information, Mathieu, to release it on your website as soon as we know the date. But normally it's during the first semester of each year to do the residency. Most of the time it's in October because it's the main season in Taiwan for XR, as there is the Kaohsiung Film Festival and the TTXC Expo in Kaohsiung. So it's really the main moment to be here. So of course we will give you all the information, and if studio producer have just a question about the Taiwanese ecosystem, they can also maybe ask you my email and contact me through email.
Thanks very much, all of you. This is the end of this session, and to be concluded, let's meet in Kaohsiung. I won't be there personally, but someone from XRMust will be on the ground. And wishing you everyone a good festival, and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Thank you, Mathieu.